Have we, the citizens, failed the country in the fight against corruption?
And for me, I would say, yes, the citizens have failed.
Thank you very much, our viewers out there. Today, in today's episode, I bring you David Asubu. He will fully introduce himself, and we are going to be talking about a certain cancer, a cancer that is eating our country, a cancer that we are normalizing. This cancer affects all of us, and it affects much bigger of this population. So, David, you will introduce yourself, and we'll talk about that cancer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Robert Asiimwe. My name is David Asubu. I am a Ugandan citizen who pays taxes. I work for government of Uganda, but within civil society.
Views expressed in this video are for the individuals. We don't represent any institution, so these are individual views. The cancer you are talking about, it is corruption, and I will start from there once again, as I've mentioned. Have we, the citizens, failed the country in the fight against corruption?
It's a very big question, and for me, I would say, yes, the citizens have failed. But also, the other side, they are transferring responsibility to other people. So I think in this case, we need to look at ourselves. We need to do personal self-reflection as citizens. I think that's why I sit here as a citizen. I have a role to play. So the answer is yes, we have failed as citizens. And it's not until we accept that we have failed as citizens, then we may continue struggling to provide solutions to this cancer. And when we talk about cancer, there are people who take it slightly. A cancer, if you have ever gone to Mulago, go to Arua hospital, go where, that someone is having a wound that does not heal, a wound that inconveniences you, it makes you uncomfortable. Not only you, even the people around you. And you said it rightly, corruption. It's not just about money. Everything you do outside the guidelines, outside the expectation of a bigger picture, is corruption. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Now, we see that corruption has been at the center where the parliament has been exposed. Why can't the citizens hold their leaders accountable? Why are leaders acting with impunity, not to listen to the people who have voted them?
I think we can take even 1 week discussing about that topic. But normally, I spend like a minute or two to tell the people where we are coming from. I have told the people of Uganda without fear that the sitting government that we have, we call it a rebel government. It's on record that they went to the bush and fought. When they came back, they pretended that that come with the best solution when we are talking about governance issues. So they came back, gave us services as a military government for some little time, as they were changing certain things to favor them. Then after that, they opened up what they called multipartyism, that to pretend to allow other parties with divergent views to come in. Yes, it was good to open it up. But the question was the ground level? Maybe the answer is yes and no. And now from there, they continued. When elections would come in, they are using elections as a means. They are looking at democracy. They are looking at the electoral process as a democratic process, which ends only there. But for me, as a citizen, I like saying democracy is everyday life. It looks at processes. It does not even have a start. It's like a cycle which rotates. So you are electing leaders with an expectation that the leaders will go to those public offices, they return back to you with the public services. Not just public services, quality. Not just quality, timely. Not only that, they must be humble.
But we've seen also on that people, if leaders steal money and they come back and share with you, they are okay with it. And you find that they are elected, democracy majority. They are elected by the majority section in the society. So what do you say about that?
Where I come from, I know there are leaders who are declared winners when actually they did not win. There are also some Ugandans who have always come out to say President Museveni at a certain time did not win an election. There are those views. So what does it mean? It's not just about the electoral process. Sometimes some leaders are earmarked before the process. So when they are earmarked, there are others who are using state machinery. State machinery, they are using everything. Let me remind you one thing. I have heard many times, I think there is time President Museveni was quoted saying, the problem of Africa is leaders that stay in power. He has said that and it's on record. Then he went ahead to say certain things. Now, we know he has stayed in power for 40 years. Well, we are not bothered about that. But for me, what is bothering Ugandans, like I was telling some people, the young people who were 20 years when President Museveni took over power in 1986, right now, they are about 60 years. And at that time, President Museveni was sharing the best message with the Ugandans. Young people, I love you. I am here to give you the best. I'm here to build your capacity. You are leaders of tomorrow. Now, to young people, tomorrow has refused to come. And as we speak right now, there are young people who have started to realize young people are leaders of yesterday. These are proverbs. So it means they are late. They want to be given space in those elective positions. Whether a member of parliament, whether an LC1, whether in an organizational board, whether in a cultural institution, young people would like to be there. Recently, there is a report which was shared. You remember? Afrobarometer report. And it put Ugandan citizens at 80 plus. Not in terms of democracy as such, but in terms of demanding, in terms of now being aware and yearning for the best. I have used the right word, yearning. Asubu yearns to be somewhere, but there are factors that are pulling me back. So everyone now in Uganda seems to be at that level. Go to a drinking joint. You'll find people discussing about service delivery. You find people discussing about leadership. Go to church.
So where is the gap? We see here the citizens are informed and are engaging. As you've said, to the bars, to the churches, you've seen pastors put some, or priests put across some messages against corruption. So where is the gap?
The gap is bigger. The gap is bigger. The other thing I did not mention, you had when the president one time was saying, if you want to stay in power for long, you must actually put the people you are leading to be in a condition like they're in a burning saucepan, a frying pan, so that they do not have time to think about strategic things. I think that is the reason why nowadays politicians give money to taxpayers, 1,000 shillings, and the vote goes. 1,000 shillings, salt, a pack of salt, small things, and the citizens make mistakes. So by the time the citizens are making those mistakes, they don't intend to make those mistakes. The problem is they are being put at that condition, which looks to be permanent, but it's possible to unblock. Of course, for many times also, when we are talking about leadership, we are talking about influencing. We are talking about providing solutions to people's problems. But we are part of the leadership. I am told the government is three arms. There's the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Now, citizens are within the parliament of Uganda. That's why they're supposed to keep coming back to us to consult, make laws uh, that pick our issues and are fixed. Now, because of that, some people decided to fold their hands, and they started to see that the problems affecting Ugandans must just be solved by leaders who do not have a political will. The leadership we have does not have a political will to fix the issues we have. They are fond of fixing when they want to vote. Look at the road in West Nile, the rate at which they are working on it. I was told the Karuma was built some years ago, I think some 40, 50 years ago, and it took government 1 year to construct that bridge. It will take government of President Museveni might be 3 years to repair. Like it has taken 4 months just to assess. 4 months to assess. These are guys who are using what is happening at community level as a source of income.
We've seen numerous times President Museveni has come out to speak against corruption, and he says that corruption lies in the technocrats, people who are in charge of money. At the district, he talks of cows and the sub-county chiefs. He goes at national level, talks of permanent secretaries. Do you agree with him? Where is the problem? Because one thing, even when I was learning in the primary, when you know the source of the problem is half solved. So where is the problem? And has Museveni and his government failed the fight against corruption?
I told you from our start that the problem is bigger. When the leaders fail to give us what we want, the leaders become the problem. I think let's start from there. That is number
So
one.
Museveni is the problem.
The leaders become the problem. That's what I'm saying. Number two, as the voters, the citizenry, we have a role to play. I don't like blaming citizens, but there's a role the citizens have not played. There is this thing normally, these guys, this pressure group, they like saying people power. For me, I know it refers to the power in the people. When you do power analysis, you as a person, you have power. You as a person, if you're educated, you have that power of information. If you have money, you have power of the money. If you build a group, power of the group. You get. So I am looking at the citizens. There is that power that has been disorganized by those in the leadership for them to stay in the power. So I think for us to be able to fix the challenges we are in, there is need for Ugandan citizens, first, to look at themselves, two, to start to take responsibility. This government is teaching people called patriotism. You don't learn patriotism from school. I hear from Chankwanzi, from where. No, patriotism is learned in everyday's life. Everyday's life. I was one time in some village in Ikumi, as you are going to Malera. I find a farmer returning from his garden and was spoiling the road. I was carrying someone who was an activist. As I was riding closer to this person, I was getting angry and more angry. Ugandans are not yet angry. Ugandans are
How was he destroying the road?
He was returning from the garden with his oxen and pulling an ox plow. And the ox plow was actually it was plowing down the road. Now, for me, being an informed taxpayer, I knew government would take time to give more funds to repair. So he needed to take responsibility to protect that. And that is actually what patriotism is talking about. The love for Uganda, how do you protect the environment, climate change issues. Now, how do we come in as Ugandans, aware that we are here as flowers? We are here to go. There are people who are coming from behind us. They need to find these resources the way they are. The sitting governments needs to appreciate. Whether it will take 50 years, 100 years, there will be another government that has to come in. Now that cancer you are talking about, corruption. If you are depending on borrowed money, borrow the money to try to provide service delivery. I've used the word to try to provide service delivery because normally the money is stolen. You are asking me about technocrats, President Museveni. Haven't you seen in the Parliament of Uganda at the committee level, the thieves actually infiltrating into the budgeting process? Number one, to inflate figures. Number two, to critically see what they'll put there so that they come and actually tell the citizens who are not empowered that, you know, me as a person, I'm going to do for you a CB school. Me as a person, I'm going to bring for you an ambulance.
Which is in the budget.
Yes, which is already in the budget and it's using taxpayers' money, but the information comes to the voter that is an individual who is actually making a contribution. For me, I think that is where the problem is. Over time, I have been telling people, decentralization is very good, but also maybe it's in the paper. Powers have not been from the center to the lower local government. I think there's still some struggle. Now, as we are doing that, you know, because of some people who are influential, because of selfish interest, because of ABCD, the reason why they are dividing constituencies, the reason why they give a district that does not qualify to be a municipality, to become a municipality, to become a city, because they want this political failure to either take up a position there. Well, it's justifiable that the voters voted, and yet the voters were coerced to vote. The military were used to do that. Now, by so doing, we have seen now leaders who are incompetent. If you look at the Parliament of Uganda, for an example, out of the 500 plus members of Parliament, you might, I want to be fair, you might find 150 who actually qualify. They qualify. And if such people were within my constituency.
So what do you mean by qualifying? You've been in the civil service. As you do your job, there are key performance indicators. And the key performance indicators for the parliamentarians, there are three critical ones: resource allocation, representation, and what? Oversight. And there are civil societies who have come also to do scorecard for the member of parliament. And we see their scores. So please qualify your statement.
So if you are talking about the three, which are constitutional, in terms of what they're supposed to do, let's look at appropriation. Appropriation means people are paid taxes. The Ugandan citizens are paid taxes. And now there is little money which needs to be put in priorities that are supposed to be from the Ugandan citizens. Are you sure by Parliament of Uganda? I don't want to say by Museveni pulling money which was meant to do health facilities, ambulances, schools to pay ROCO, a construction company. Was that a priority of the people?
It was passed by the parliament, and I think you have a representative in the parliament.
I have a representative in the parliament, but the truth is that the people of Uganda in many constituencies wanted. Appropriation would mean put money to priorities that benefit Ugandans, that Ugandans have a say. I don't want people to have a mismatch. Because you are called a representative of people, you do not even consult. Some of these people, after elections, do not even return to their constituencies. So they start to assume. You have heard them making noise that they want to be given staff to do for them research because of the incompetence I'm talking about. So if they are not able to do their role, appropriation and oversight, I have been seeing this short man of our called who talks a lot in parliament. I don't know his name. He speaks very well. He looks to be so much informed.
And a short man in the parliament.
But now you see, when you are talking about oversight, and there are some things in the budget that members of parliament did not see before. Are you sure you are providing oversight? I think you are blind. Parliament is blind when it comes to other things.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying some of those guys are very incompetent. Maybe if it was possible, I think it's important to start to, instead of dividing constituencies, the more. Leave people who are competent to compete for broader constituencies.
To reduce the size of the
Yes,
parliament?
reduce the number of.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll have that discussion. If we go into that, it will take another week. We've talked about the parliament, but we see these people are supposed to be checked, or the citizenry to hold them accountable. The citizenry to hold them accountable. We've seen some citizens, some few activists who have come out to demand for accountability have been arrested. Even some have been victimized, arrested, harassed, imprisoned, and we see there is a debate in the citizenry that they, the government has left them no avenue to hold the leaders accountable. What do you say about that?
First of all, citizens in Uganda need to know it's our role. It's our constitutional role to hold either politicians, including the technocrats, accountable for their actions and the resources that they're holding in our trust. If we don't do that, time is going to come where another section of Ugandan citizens will be asking for accountability. From you, they will be asking for accountability. I want to say they should stop waiting for 2026 to ask for accountability. Accountability is everyday's life. If it's possible, like I gave you an example, Bukedia district, sometime I used to work in Bukedia under civil society. The people called the activists, community monitors, are Ugandan citizens. But this government starts to paint them like that they are to champion the interests of imperialists. You know, those kind of words are not good when you're a leader. These are your citizens, but because they have received some level of empowerment, then they are able to hold some public servants accountable. Of course, I know when you like asking for accountability questions, people do not like to respond to that. People don't. Now, what is happening right now? People are asking, money is stolen.
Why don't people like leaders to be asked questions to account? Why?
That is their livelihood. For leaders who do not have public interest, they have selfish interest. It means they are protecting their interest. Now, when they ask them accountability questions, right now, Kumi as a district, I read something in social media. They have interdicted some public servants. When you look out for them and you are asking for some questions, they are going to decline to respond. And yet they were in a public office, including the president of Uganda, including the ministers. They are not interested in giving accountability. So for me, my message always is very clear to them. If you hate accountability questions, you should actually resign from a public office. You should actually go to your village. But even when you go to your village, people are going to ask you accountability questions. When they are going to vote and you are not voting, they are asking you why. If they are cleaning village roads and you are not cleaning, they are asking you why. If your children are not going to school and other people's children are going to school, they will ask you why. So what is happening right now that people are being intimidated? Of course, now I speak here, they should also prepare for an arrest for me if they want. For me, my contributions, my contributions, I think are at 1%. I am always a person of humility. I think many things that needs to be fixed in Uganda, like I said, all the Ugandans have a role to fix. So me and you alone cannot fix. So if they want to inconvenience me right now, because for me I call that inconvenience. You are talking about the role of members of parliament to make laws for the interests of Ugandans. Haven't you seen them now making laws for their own interests? This law called computer misuse of our, even I don't know how to call it. And the
Misuse Act.
yes, act. Who does that benefit? It benefits some public servants, some politicians. Now they're using that to crack down people who are asking for accountability. For me, I would use this as a platform to call for all the Ugandans. All of us should actually be asking for accountability questions. So that if they want to keep arresting, they will have no space for us. They will not have space for us. So
Okay,
that should be a motivation to us even.
Some people will say that you're lulling Ugandans to a den of lions to be killed. Yet it's you, some people who will be lulling Ugandans to come and speak up, but you will be hiding.
Very unfortunate that someone would want to put words in my mouth. I have told people recently the number of people who are killed in the riots in Kenya, I think there were 23. That number was very small. How many Ugandans, the pregnant women in Uganda, how many pregnant women are dying in these hospitals without facilities? Who is killing who? Don't you think that is government, the failure of government killing those women? How many young people in West Nile, for an example, who are being killed every day as they are trying to steal motorcycles to survive? Who is killing them? You will think it's the mob justice that is killing them. I think it's the failed state. The failed leadership is the one killing them. So it's our role to see how to support these Ugandans for them to be able to have where to earn from and earn a living. You get?
So the problem is bigger. So if you choose to be in the comfort zone, the problem will also catch up with you.
The problem will make you uncomfortable. Like I said before, keep smiling. Let Ugandans keep smiling. Let them be comfortable. Time will come when they will become uncomfortable. And when they become uncomfortable, they will not be happy. They will be angry and angry and angry. You will reach that level, either when I'm still alive or when I'm not there.
I want you, like people, you shared for me and our viewers there. What is Uganda? What is the potential of Uganda? What, like that picture of Uganda without corruption? What is that picture?
Uganda without corruption would be heaven on earth. I think I've made it very short. It would be heaven on earth. It's on record. Africa has a lot of resources that if we put leaders in those political and technical positions who share the interests with us, there will be sustainability in the public service delivery, health, education, the road network, electricity, everything. There will be sustainability in that, and every Ugandan will be enjoying. I want to think that would be a Uganda without corruption. And the ones who would want to be in public offices throughout their lives would actually sit there throughout because we would not be having any problem disturbing us. But because we are struggling seated on fire, we want to make sure that you come and sit with us on fire.
Okay, that is the picture of Uganda without corruption. So, what do you tell? Like, how can you advise the citizenry to come and speak up? What should be done for us to see that we achieve that Uganda without corruption as we end this show?
Everything in Uganda that involves taxpayers' money, your money, is political. They need to start from there.